Hello everybody, welcome back down into the dungeon. There are quite a few little things I want to get working on today, a bunch of little projects I'm going to drag you along for. And I've got to make this quick because it's kind of a big project I got to deal with upstairs. Kitchen sink decided to spring a bit of a leak, so I've got to fix up the drain on that again. I think I've already posted something on that on the channel, I'm not entirely sure. So probably won't make a video about that. However, I am thinking about a video for the Clean Valley Farms channel discussing the permaculture stuff, which is why it's on the Clean Valley Farms channel, tiny little thing that it is. But yeah, so if you're interested in a couple of small fruit varieties that you can get fairly affordably and will grow even in Manitoba conditions, stick around and or check that video out. It'll be tomorrow, the next couple of days, not entirely sure. Like I say, I got to deal with the sink upstairs before I really know what's going on as far as my long-term plans. But one second, I have to go get Gordon. Up. You know you're not supposed to be down below the landing. Get up, 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 up. Move it, move it, move it. Oh, you're sassing me. I get no respect. I think part of my long-term plans for today or the next couple of days, I want to clean this shelf off and rearrange it, because this is one of those ones you can set to basically any height you'd like. So I'd like to bring the bottom shelf up a little bit, take the top shelf down a little bit, and then this has got those 3 LEDs that I purchased when I first started exploring LED grow lights. And while they don't work well for veg, we'll say, they do seem to work well for bloom, which again seems to work well for herbs, because looking over here, you know, the herbs under this light are doing ridiculously well. So if I can make use of this space here, then I've got some more garden space back. So excellent. Alright, well, one of the most interesting things about this old house that we have is that it seems to seasonally produce ladybugs, which is great because it also seems to be truly infested with aphids. But I just went upstairs and looked around the studio and found 4 little ladybugs. We're now gonna set free amongst the peppers down here whilst I do the rest of my working around here. But hooray, I might just win this year. Got some ladybugs just in time. I got mint everywhere, and the aphids themselves have become fish food. It's all very promising. Anywho, one of the first things I want to deal with is the fact that that drain pipe there is uncovered, and I've caught the goldfish hiding in it a couple of times already. So what I've done is I've grabbed a jelly cloth, fat rubber band. I know that I have 4 fish in there, so I'm going to separate them to make sure nobody's hiding in the tube while I do this, because that would be terrible. There's one hiding under it right now. And yeah, close off that area of escape for them. I'm sure it's nice and comforting, but yeah, for some reason I'd rather have it closed. Alright, so I'm going to try and capture all my little fish in here. With any luck, I can keep them floating in this planter, but I need to know where all 4 of them are before I put this thing on there, and I can only see 1 at the moment. Hiding out there. So let's see if we can scoop this one in here. Oh, evading me today, are you? Come on. Don't even. Just gonna keep you somewhere safe. Actually, now that I look over at the other end of the tank here, I'm soaking so I don't want to touch the camera, but 3 of them are hiding in that corner there, and 1's right there. There's only 4 in the tank. It means I'm safe, and I don't have to separate them. And that sounds like the cat has found his way down the stairs. But that's a different fight. Alright. Got my jelly cloth on there. Big fat rubber band. And no, I don't know if the rubber band's food safe. I'll be honest. Alright. However, I do know I don't have to worry about fish hiding from me in the other end. Alright. I forgot to turn the camera back at what I was doing, but I just put the jelly cloth over that pipe, put the rubber band around it to keep it nice and snug. I'll check on that from time to time, make sure it's not a problem. I hope the fish were at least entertaining while I was doing that, because I meant to turn the camera back. Alright, well, anyway, moving on. Dry off my hands here. So after a fair bit of rummaging around yesterday, I managed to find pipe and fittings of the right sizes to bring that basically right above the water level. And this angled one's kind of going in there to give me a bit of a current. So that worked out way better than I could have hoped for. The black is an interesting background. The timer for this is set up for 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off, all day, every day. So they don't get a constant current, and they're just getting used to the tank. But I was adding water to this from the main fish tank pretty much ever since I set it up. So, as Rob Z pointed out, hopefully there should be some bacteria already built up in the clay on the EuroGrower. And hopefully, you know, the pHs should be pretty darn close to each other and all that happy fun stuff. Hopefully. No floaters yet in either tank, so must be doing something right. Little tiny mint plants. Alright. You can see at least 2 of those ladybugs are already out and getting to work. Excellent. Work it. Oops, focus. Very nice to see them in here. I don't know, I might just win this year. Well, I guess I've got to move those spider plants to somewhere else, but they seem to be getting good light. Bad position for getting watered, but good position for light. So I noticed that it wasn't actually the connector over here that was leaking. It was coming out the ends of the pipe because it was overflowing because the angle's wrong. I should have brought a level down with me, but did I think of that? No! So I need to get some shims from outside at some point over the next couple days. Bring this end of the table up a couple inches because that pipe setup is terrible and kind of stressing out the lid here more than I'd like. But otherwise, this thing has worked out really well. The water cleared up nicely, as you can see. So, good a few days. Probably add a few more of the fish to this tank. There are 21, so I guess I'll put 11 in here, and I'll leave 10 over here. Because I'm still kind of thinking, you know, I could put a bed over that, because I still got that black garden bed, and maybe do some lettuce or something. Spin it against the wall. I don't know. It's always changing around here. It's the joy of gardening. Alright, well I guess it's a good day for finding things. I was mixing up some more soil there. And yes, I am recycling my soil. No, I have not cooked it, obviously. But in there, from one of those pots, came a couple of worms. I'm hoping that's a couple of worms and not one worm that I accidentally cut in half. But either way, that's going into the sand dollar pepper. Ooh, maybe I should put it into the El Oro. Yeah. These are going into the El Oro down there. The white bucket. Nope. The El Oro is covered in clay, and that strikes me as a highly unfriendly surface for worms. Let's give them 2. Yeah, I guess they're going to the sand dollar, because why not? If it dies, I'll eventually just reuse that soil anyway. Alright, dig you little buggers. There's dead roots aplenty in there. Lots of leaves, some bananas. Have a good time. So, back to recycling my soil. At this point, this is a mix of a lot of things, up to and including good old Manitoba mud. But not a whole lot of free draining material. So I went and grabbed some perlite today. 2 bags. One for the soil and one for another go at some pepper seeds. But yeah, I'm going to mix that through there. Should drain a whole lot better for me and just be more conducive to indoor gardening, I think. Never cared for how dusty this stuff is. Something tells me if Shox was here, she'd be telling me to make sure I had a mask on. So loving that one. Oh, let the dust fly. Good heavens. Gonna mix this through. Tell you one thing I really should have down here if I'm going to do this is a screen. And yeah, I should probably have a mask. I'm going to let this settle for a little bit. Whew. We'll get back to it. Well, the dust is settled and I've mixed this up, and I gotta say, that looks a lot better than before I threw the perlite in there. It might still be a little bit heavy on the perlite side, actually, but I've got a bit more soil. So you know what, actually, I found a few rocks in here. I'm going to throw a bit more soil in here, mix it up, and then I'm good to go, I think. As soon as I turn my back, don't worry, he's not looking. Oh yeah, get out of the basement, dude. That cat is just in a mood today. I think this may be the nicest seed starting medium I have used yet. Possibly all year, and possibly the whole time I've been gardening. It's got a nice texture to it, crumbles fairly well. The perlite should keep things from clumping together. Yeah, alright. If only I'd done this before I did all of that. Oh well. Mixing up the soil today though, because I want to transplant this little window mint into a larger container. We found a couple of these good old soup mug recipe mugs. What, like 5-10 cents each at the thrift store. I love that thrift store. Got a planter that fits right in there. Just gonna fill that up, put the mint in there, back in the windowsill. Look a lot nicer than just this little tiny pot sitting on I think it's like a mayonnaise lid or something. Anywho, that looks much better. Fill that up with some fish water, give it a good healthy start, and I can go back upstairs. Well, I just finished giving the fish their snack time, shaking all the aphids off, and I gotta say that is a very therapeutic experience. I strongly recommend it. But as you can tell, A, I do drop a fair bit of soil into the tank when I do that, and B, these little guys seem to really like snack time. They're not normally very social, but they're all fairly close to the surface now. So, I may have accidentally discovered the world's greatest fish food. Aphids. Grow them today. No, don't. Don't grow them. Nice to see the fish up at the surface, though. Some fascinating discoveries during today's aphid shake, though. Kind of looks like this Grandpa's Siberian home might be starting to try and produce some flower buds on it there. Everything's terribly dry. I'm just about to mix up some nutrients. I will bring you along for that. What else did I find over here? The nasturtium splitting, but I don't think that's what it was. I'll undoubtedly remember while I'm editing this. Over here, though, the matchbox still seems to be developing its flowers. I found another matchbox in one of these foam cups that seems to be working on flowers. The crimson red up here is working on flowers. And I thought I saw, oopsie, broke a leaf, in the center of this super chili, also working on flowers. So, fascinating. And this isn't even on the bloom switch. This is just growth. Bloom would look like that. And we'll get to that, but I want the plants a little bigger first. Besides, right now it's only using half the power, so sweet. Certainly good enough for the mint. The oregano seems pretty happy. Sage looks pretty happy. Alright. So while a lot of people in the community are using, was it Master Blend, I've got this general hydroponics stuff because that's what came with the EuroGrower garden. And I've just grabbed a 1 liter jug here. I am literally just going to put 1 milliliter of each of these products into the jug and shake the bugger out of it. Going to do it individually, got to shake them in one at a time. And I always want to start with the micro apparently. But yeah, so that should add up to a nice little boost, and hopefully help these things get a slightly better start while we're waiting on the fish to grow and make more nutrients that way. Might as well use what I have at hand. And then from here, I'm basically just going to water the plants like I would with a scoop of fish water, except I'm going to go around to everything in cups until that bottle is completely used. So they're going to get a little bit more than their usual 1 squirt, but these all felt pretty light, so I should probably up that to 2 anyway. Not much to see here, really just going around and emptying an eyedropper. Get back when this is done, I guess. Well, that took a lot longer than I anticipated, but everybody has now gotten a nice little boost of fertilizer. So hopefully, over the next few days and weeks, we'll see some nice bits of improvement. Alright, well, there are a few other things that I wanted to do today, but the cat is driving me nuts and I can hear my cup of coffee calling me from upstairs. It's so lonely. So I'm going to get on that, and I need to go try and fix the kitchen sink. So, yeah, thank you all for sticking around with me to this point if you have, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and if you've stuck around this far, here's a quick look at how the drain is working out for me on this aquaponic EuroGrower. Fish seem to like hanging out underneath that straightforward one. The angled one's giving me a little bit of a current. I do need to get an air stone in there, but I have no more airline tubing, so just gonna have to wait or take turns. But really, I think it gets a fair bit of oxygen into the water for 4 fish.